Sport mode. Let's go! Oh, wow! Now, if you know me, you will know that I love cars that are special, unique, eye-catching, and this car right here literally fits in that category perfectly. So this right here is the Neo Smart #3, and you can see, yes, it's no longer the mini-size Smart we used to know, like the Smart 4.2 and the Smart 4.4, but it has evolved and grown much larger in size now, in a good way, all of which I'll be explaining later in this video. Now for today's video, I'm going to share my 1 week ownership with you guys. Yes, Smart actually loaned me this car for a week to let me have a feel of it, what's it like driving and living with this car. I'm going to share all the cool details, the interesting features, the design, the driving, and everything that's got to do with this fun little car. Let's go. Now, just before we begin, let me just give you a brief introduction on the Smart brand itself. So it's basically a joint venture between Geely and Mercedes. So you'd be mistaken to think that this car looks exactly like a Mercedes because it's really done by Mercedes designer. The exterior, the interior, and all the internal parts, everything under the skin, like the battery, the motor, those are done by Geely. So the combination of both come together and you get this car. And this car right here is called the Smart #3, which is the largest in size as compared to the Smart #1, which was launched earlier. So this one has a more of a SUV coupe-like design, which looks, in my opinion, looks much better. But what's very interesting, right, is even though the Smart #1 is smaller as compared to this, right, even though this car is larger, this car actually is more powerful and has more range. Why? Because of the design itself. Yes, this very streamlined shape which improves aerodynamic. Okay, the drag coefficient of this car also is lower as compared to the Smart #1, which improves in efficiency and range. Okay, so now I roughly know about the cars. Now let me give you a walk around tour of the Smart #3. Let's go. Now, can't we all just agree that Smart literally nailed it when it comes to the exterior styling and design? Because this car, right, it literally attracts a lot of attention. It's very fun and interesting to see. Whenever I drive these to places, right, people will actually turn their heads to look at this because you'll be surprised that not a lot of people actually know about this car as compared to the Teslas and the BYDs, which are more common, which makes this car unique on its own, right? So from the front, you can see it actually has a very minimalistic approach. You got this full wraparound boomerang shape headlights, which is nicely tinted, very aggressive. The bottom here, you have vents which channel air towards the side of the car for aerodynamics. I also like how actually the roof and the side mirrors are painted black to bring the weight down a little bit, to give you an optical illusion that the car is lower than it actually is. Alright, from the side, you have 19-inch wheel design. Now, depending on the spec and option you choose from, which I'll explain more later, the Brabus one gives you 20-inch wheels. You got a Smart logo here. From the side, you got this flush door handle. As you walk towards it, it detects you, it opens up. You got a Smart, you open up. This car has frameless windows, and then the back as well, you open up. Yeah, you see, it's very, very sporty. I love that a lot. Now, one thing about the Smart #3, which is famous for, and it's also my favorite part of the car, is this section right here. You notice the coupe style, the Supreme roof light that comes down, it gives you a very sporty design. Now, one very interesting design detail on this car is here. You notice this part here, right, is black color. It gives you a separation between the bottom part and the top part. Now, Smart actually purposely did this because they want to give you a floating effect. So this whole part here is actually floating. So if you look from different angles, you notice the top section is actually floating. Yeah, it's so cool. Now, towards the back, just like from the front design, the shape is like from the front. Got this full width LED light bar. See the back? Also very minimalistic. Looks so aggressive, right? I love the design so much on this Smart #3. The bottom here is black. And one thing fun about this car, right, is a lot of people don't know that if you don't know about this car, you try to ask them where to open up the boot. They wouldn't find out where is it. I asked a lot of my friends and family, and none of them can actually find out where is the button to open up the boot. Some of them actually press on the S, on the M, on the A, on the R, on the T, and it didn't work. The key is to press inside the A. You just press this right here, and it pops open the powered tailgate. Now inside, you have decent amount of boot space right here. If you open up here, you got more space, and this one gives you the charging equipments. Alright, so now let's check out the interior. Now, just before we check out the cockpit from the front, let's take a look at the back seats first. So if you open up, you notice, right, actually a lot of cars, right, that comes with this coupe style design, it actually sacrifices the headroom. But for this car, nope. you still have lots of headroom. So if you have friends that are very tall, they can fit inside here perfectly. You got a very nice full panoramic sunroof from the front all the way towards the back. The seats are very comfortable, very spacious. We took this car for a long distance journey, and everyone that sat at the back, they say it's very comfortable. All right, you got 2 AC vents there, lots of legroom at the back. Now let's check the front out. Open up the door. So the front design, notice it gives you a hint of a Mercedes sort of design. You see this design right here, this part is all finished in aluminium. So this one actually runs across all the way towards the side there, and the middle part here also is aluminium, just to break up a part of all the black details and ladders around the car. Right, let's just take a seat inside. Let's just close the door. Yeah, even the door cut also, you see, it's so minimalistic, the design. All right, let's just close the door for a moment. Now, once you're inside here, you're immediately greeted by this screen right here. You see, it's so cute, the design. Yeah, only Smart has this sort of design, which makes them very unique. All right, and then here you got your quick controls and stuff. So let me just go outside, press home. I just want to show you the main screen. Yeah, you see, it's basically an earth, so you can choose whether you're in navigation, your next charging station. Now, this car has a very cool feature that if you press this, and then it tells you where's your nearest charging station based on your location. So they have 75% coverage across the entire Malaysia, which is very good. So that's only Smart. If you get a Smart, that's the benefit you have. All right. So yeah, you got this massive screen here. If you press this button right here, it pops up this quick control menu. So now this car is, what's nice, right, is it comes with regenerative braking, and it allows you to choose the strength of it. Same goes for the power steering as well, whether you want light, standard, heavy. So this is the car itself. So you have lighting, general, driving assistant, the ADAS system, the full ADAS system. This car has everything as well. You got the vehicle settings, steering wheel recentering, driver monitoring system. All right, vehicle condition. You have your TPMS here as well. Yeah, and then you come down here, you notice the design is so minimalistic, but it's nice at the same time. So this one, you open up, you have 2 charging ports here. This is where you put your phone, wireless charging. You open it up here, reveals 2 cup holders, and I like this part here for you to put your phone. And at the back here, you press this, it lifts up, it gives you space to put your things, and you can keep it cool as well. You can put your drinks inside, keep it nice and cool. All right, even the seats also, you see, even though it looks so sporty, right, it's actually very, very comfortable. Yeah, so the port here, you see, it's very nicely padded. Even though this one, you got very thick side bolstering, right? Yeah, literally this car, you sit inside here, you'll be surprised of how comfortable the seats are. And I like this little attention to detail. You notice this part here, you have this holes here, whereas this part don't have. And then you got those rivets on the side of the seats. Yeah, very, very cool. Alright guys, you now join me in the Smart #3. Okay, firstly, let's talk about the variants and the price of this. So the one I'm currently driving is the Pro, which is the base variant. This car costs 175,000. It has a single motor that powers the rear wheels. This car has around 270 horsepower and 340 Newton meters of torque. Now that's actually quite a lot, because I took my friends and family together with me who've never been in an EV before, right? When I put into sport mode, I accelerate, right? The feeling, right? All of them literally scream because they've never experienced something this intense before. You know, the amount of torque for EV cars, once you press, right, you get an instant torque that pushes you forward. You can't really get that in ICE cars. You can, but it's very expensive. Like supercars, you only get to experience that kind of torque. Yeah, for this car, for 175, you get to experience it. It's actually very, very good. This car also has a range of around 320 kilometers of range. That is not a lot. Okay, and also 0 to 100 in this car takes 5.8 seconds. Alright, then moving on forward, you have the Premium and you have the Brabus variant. So the Premium costs 215,000 and the Brabus costs 255,000 ringgit. The Premium uses the same setup as this car, just that it has more features and there's more range. It has 455 kilometers of range. Now that is definitely the one you should actually go for, because 320 kilometers is not a lot. On city driving, it's okay. If you want to go out station, it's a bit too far-fetched. So if you want, you go for the Premium, because the Premium adds on different things as well, like adaptive headlights. You got very nice ambient lighting. Okay, and then moving on to the Brabus Brabus. So the Brabus, that one, right, it has two motors, so making it all-wheel drive, one powering the front, one powering the rear, and makes around 430 horsepower and 540 Newton meters of torque, guys. That car, I've actually experienced it on a track before. That time they actually invited me to go and test it out, and went all out to test it. Wow, that torque, right? If you feel that this car, the torque is good, right? That car, 0 to 100 in that car is only 3.7 seconds. The instant torque that kicks in, right? It gives you a headache. It feels like as if your head is still at the back, your mind, and your soul is still at the back when your car is already lunged forward. Yeah, that feeling is just sensational. Now, driving this car, right, it's actually very spacious. It's very, very comfortable. I've actually sat in the back seat as well. At the back, you can actually sit 4-person also if you want. It's very spacious and the seats are very nice and comfortable. The seats of this also is very soft, and you also got a very nice cushion here that actually hugs you. Okay, the steering wheel is very small, very nice to drive. Okay, this car, right, is literally an attention seeker because a lot of people going for Teslas, BYDs. This car you don't see that much on the road often, especially this smart #3 because it's only launched early July, so it's already been like 3-4 months only. So everyone will literally look at this car and it's a very good talking point. Everyone that passes me, right, will talk to me and say, hey, what car is this? What car is this? And I show them, explain to them. Alright, then I say this one is basically Geely, but then it's a Mercedes as well. They also thought this car is a Mercedes, you know. Imagine if you cover the badge, they wouldn't know what car is this, which is a very, very nice. I love cars that are very unique, like I said in the beginning of the video. And this car also, in terms of wind noise, right, you don't really have any because it's so slippery. When you're driving fast, you don't get to hear any wind noise, but instead you get to hear the tire noise. Now the tire noise on this car is actually surprisingly loud. I think if you change to another tire like EV tires, that will actually reduce the rolling resistance, which effectively reduces the noise as well. Okay, in terms of visibility also, you get a very nice view outside. You got the panoramic sunroof on top. The panoramic sunroof actually gets a bit hot in the day, yeah, which is but they actually had a cover which we can just put and cover it if you want. It's optional. All right, I think it comes together with the car if you buy it. All right, and then but then the visibility at the back, right, it's very slim because this car is a coupe style, right? Yeah, so you don't get to see much out of the rear windshield. I forgot to mention the charging. So this car, right, the charging for the Pro, it only supports 7 kilowatt hour DC AC charging, which is not a lot. But if you go for the premium and you go for the Brabus, you get 22 kilowatt hours, which is so much better. Okay, and all three also gets around 150 kilowatt hour of DC charging. Okay, and yeah, that's about it, guys, for my review of the new Smart #3. So I'm interested to know your thoughts. Which one would you prefer? Would you get this car over the Tesla and also the BYD, which are very common? Because this car, literally, like I said, it attracts a lot of attention, and it's a very good conversation starter. And the design also, it looks so good, so Mercedes-like, but it's so at an affordable price at the same time. And the instant torque you get from this car is just sensational. Yeah, everything about this car, it's so fun, it's so different, and I like it because it's so refreshing to have something that's very out there. Because nowadays, a lot of the cars, they are so normal, right? This car is literally out there. Alright, so yeah, if you guys enjoyed, please remember to like, subscribe, and share with friends, and I shall catch you guys next time. Ciao.